Welcome to the Six Figure Business Mastery Podcast, where every week, Kirsten and Jeanne dive into the essential topics to fuel your business growth. From copywriting to course creation, mindset to video marketing, they've got you covered. Tune in for expert guest interviews on all things marketing and business, and learn how to work on your business, not just in it. So, get ready to unlock your business potential and take it to the next level.
Hello. I'm Kirsten and Six Figure Business Coaching and the co-creators of the Marketing VA Advantage. We're excited to have you here. We have a fantastic guest. Jeanne, would you like to introduce our guest today?
I would. We are thrilled to have Lisa Kanda from LK Advisors, LLC. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Since 2008, Lisa's worked with businesses and entrepreneurs who once struggled to establish and grow their online presence. She uses her patient style of client service. She has empowered thousands to show up, stand out, and succeed by instilling confidence to take consistent action steps to establish, sustain, and grow their online presence and their revenue. She has a wealth of hands-on experience leading social media workshops and working with individuals, businesses, corporations, and she has an uncanny and remarkable ability to share concepts that can be easily heard, understood, and acted upon to build winning relationships and grow revenue. And today she's going to talk to us about LinkedIn content, winning the algorithm with AI. And I'm so excited to talk about this because I love talking about AI. So welcome, Lisa. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
AI can really help us as business owners in every area of our business. And I feel like for so many local businesses and for online businesses as well, LinkedIn is a powerful tool to really help get your brand out there and to bring in your ideal clients and also great referral partners. So we're really excited to hear about, your thoughts on how to build a great strategy for LinkedIn.
Great. Now, and it's one of my favorite tools as well. When the pandemic hit, many of us had to relearn how to network. And luckily, because I've been involved in social media for so long, it was an easy shift to put much more attention on LinkedIn. And so the pandemic really helped people learn how to use LinkedIn as a marketing tool, as well as a place to find referral partners and really grow their audience and their businesses. And now we have AI. So it is just accelerated the opportunities that we have now with LinkedIn. So it's exciting for any business person, especially if you're in the business to business space or the business to professional space, that you now have a tool to really help you.
Great. So let's talk about how does someone put together a content strategy for LinkedIn using AI?
I think we always have to go with the fundamentals, and some people like yawn and say, oh my gosh, but strategy is strategy. And as boring as it sounds, you really need to have it locked down who your target market is and what your message is. Because when we use AI, if it's new to you, there's a thing called prompting. And you really need to be able to have that information available so that when you're prompting the AI tool you're using, it understands who you are and what your market is, who you're speaking to, who your audience is, as well as what your message is, what your core unique proposition is, so that you can make sure the AI understands that as well, because it cannot read your mind. You must have that information first. So once you have that content strategy piece in place, then when you go to use the tool within the LinkedIn world, it makes things so much easier.
It's amazing how there's so much information that we can feed into AI so that we get the best results. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think that's where we all kind of can fall short there, right? Because we just want to get to it, but we forget that it's how you set up the tool with the information that's going to really produce the great results.
Right. You need that clarity first. So when you're creating a content strategy, once you have that written down somewhere, all right, then you can move forward, because then you know the content you need to create. Now, LinkedIn is not Facebook or any other social platform. It is professional. So you want to keep your content on a professional level. And you want to think about, what does your content need to solve for that target market? What is their pain point? What are the problems they have? And that's what your content relates about, because you want your market to see you. So if you have that understood, that's going to help you develop the content that you want. But the other side of it is, even though you're not telling people what you had for breakfast or taking pictures of your vacation, there is a human aspect to it that I think the pandemic helped bring out in LinkedIn, which was not really as seen before. And I think that's a good thing, in my opinion. Not that you want to be oversharing and then give out too much information, but you certainly want that your human piece of, I also have a life and I also do other things. And you can share those stories and you can share that inspiration on LinkedIn, especially if you can relate it to a business outcome. Maybe having a day where you had some challenges, maybe you're a caregiver or maybe something happened. You can put that into a story and still have an outcome that has a business focus on it. And that will actually generate more engagement and more responses because people see you that way. So when you're creating your content, you don't want to get too corporate. And I personally have fallen into that because I was raised in corporate America. I mean, that's where I did all my work before I started my business. And you get that corporate mindset and you really want to have an opportunity to think a little bit differently and let the human come out and the person come out so that you're not always talking in corporate speak because it's really easy to do. I think, we've talked about that before when I've talked to you before. We get stuck. And then people are like, oh, that sounds like a company talking to me, not a person talking to me. So think about that when you're creating that content. How do you show up, not the company? And that's important. So content strategy, think about how you solve problems. How many different ways can you put that information out? In a podcast, in a blog post, in an image with maybe some slides or a PDF. So there are a lot of approaches on what the content looks like. And AI can help you with every single one of those.
Well, Lisa, and I think you said something that's really important to content no matter what platform you're on, and that's sharing stories. Mm-hmm. So like you said, whether it's a story about something that happened to you in your home life that kind of affected your business life and sharing that with, your audience, or sharing success stories about your clients, or sharing, just maybe even things that are going on in the world and how it can relate to your business and how it can help people out there. So I think stories are such a powerful way to build content.
The beauty with AI right now is you don't have to be the copywriter with the story. Write the story from the heart, and then you can let AI clean it up. So now once you get the story down, say, here's the story, you've primed it, here's the audience I'm talking to, here's my unique message. Can you make this more compelling? Can you make this sound a little bit better? And it's amazing what the tool can do.
And what I think separates that is the fact that, we're seeing a lot of junk content out there, just people just mass producing content with AI. They're not priming it. They're not doing all the things that they need to do. So everything can sound the same. But when you bring a story to the table, that's unique to you. That's unique to your experience. And yes, you're using AI to kind of buff it up a bit, but the reality is it's your experience that you're sharing, and that makes it really relatable.
And we're talking content strategy, especially with LinkedIn. How AI can help you is instead of one post a week or one post a month, which is not enough, you can do 3 posts a week, which is about what the average is suggested by LinkedIn even. That 3 posts a week is a good schedule to keep, but it can be varied. So it can be a story. It can be a how-to type of content, so a little bit in education, instruction, information. And then it also could be maybe some inspiration or an image of something just to generate some feedback on. Or it could be a poll. I mean, polls are also allowed, so you can ask questions through polls to get people to respond to you. So you can vary the types of content throughout the week, but clearly AI helps you do that faster. And you can schedule it in advance, which is really key. So you're not needing to create your content on those 3 days. If it's Sunday afternoon while you're in front of the TV watching something, you can maybe write content then, or you schedule it Friday afternoon when things are a little quieter, and then you write the content using AI, but you schedule it for the next week.
Perfect. So now that you've got all this great content, a content strategy, the next part is really engagement on LinkedIn. Is that right?
Yes. So you've got your content decided. So you know that you're going to have, a blog post or a podcast and a couple other pieces. Well, scheduled in advance, you can put that aside, except two things you want to pay attention to. When that content gets published, that's your opportunity to go onto the platform. So you want to mark in your calendar when you're publishing your content. And this is winning with AI and with the algorithm, okay? Because you're doing two things here. The algorithm right now pays attention to when content is published and when you engage. So this may change down the way, but as of this date when this podcast is being published, right now, when you go on and a piece of content is published, the algorithm looks for you to engage after that. So you want to go to other content, not yours, other content, and engage with it. And you can't do that ahead of time. You have to do that, live as it's happening, right? So the best way to do that is let your content publish, go on the platform. Look for content that you want to engage with, interact with. If you find that it is a long blog post or it's a link to a podcast or something, here's where AI can really help you save time. Because if you go into ChatGPT, if you're using the paid version, there are plugins where it can read links. It can read a podcast and transcribe it and then summarize it for you. So rather than you go watch a podcast for 20, 30 minutes, you put that in the AI and you have results within minutes that you can then review, understand what that content's all about, and then engage with it. So that's a huge time saver. And then you can even ask AI, could you give me a choice of 3 different comments I could make on this content? And then you have to make it your own. So, AI may not give something that's relevant or something you might say, but it'll certainly give you some ideas. Really important. And you want to do that at least on 3 pieces of content to engage with.
Great.
I guess from LinkedIn's perspective, you're posting something. So even though it's been scheduled, in theory, you're posting it and then you're staying on LinkedIn to do other things.
Correct.
Do you ever tag people in the comments? Is that a good strategy, like in your own comments, to just kind of make sure that they saw it? Or is that not something that's a good practice?
I will tag the author of the post. Because when you tag them, it lets the notification go through so that the author will see that you commented. I will also tag if I'm replying to someone else's comment. So if I'm reading a thread, I do not tag other people unless it's relevant in the comment that person has some other information that adds value. So I may make a reference to someone. In fact, I just did that the other day. Someone was asking questions about some ads, and I know of someone who actually does LinkedIn ads. And I said, this is the person you want to talk about or you want to talk to, because this is the expert I would recommend. But I don't just randomly tag people. I see that happen, and it is spam. And it's not appropriate where people just tag a bunch of people, and it's just not good practice.
All the tools and tips that you can use to make your LinkedIn profile and content and engagement stand out.
Wonderful thing is LinkedIn has embraced AI like so many other platforms. So right within LinkedIn, we've already spoken that you can schedule within LinkedIn. So you don't have to use a third party. If you don't want to, you can just be within LinkedIn and use their scheduling tool. So that's one thing that you don't have to worry about, because you can bulk your content to go out when you have time to do it. The second piece is right within LinkedIn, there's an AI tool now. So when you go to posts, it has AI magic, and you can let AI help you write that content. So if you want to stay with LinkedIn, you can play around with their AI tool to see what it can do for you. So you may have a story that you can drop in there and see what it says about it, see if it rewrites it in a way you like. But if it doesn't, we have ChatGPT. So the beauty is we do have another platform that an AI can help you. So you do a podcast, which is not on LinkedIn. And that podcast now you want to repurpose. So AI is fabulous for helping you repurpose content. Because when we say you're putting 3 pieces of content out a week, you can repurpose content from the month before or from a few weeks before, because not everybody sees it, or you're changing maybe the way it's presented. So the first time you post a podcast, you're putting out the video or the audio. The next time you may come up with have AI summarize that podcast and give you the top 5 things that they need to know about it. And then from there, you just create a blog post from it, or you create a PDF slideshow from it, and AI can help you with that, and repurpose that content a different way. So think about when you create a larger piece of content, let AI help you repurpose that as many ways as possible, and then you have it available down the road to put it back out again.
So funny, Lisa, because with our internship program for the marketing virtual assistants, we're always asking them what would they like to learn more about. And AI tools has been the number one thing, which is fantastic because we do train them on several AI tools in the internship itself. But I think it's amazing that they're all looking to learn more tools and learn how to use them, because even though AI is there and it's fantastic, sometimes it's still taking time away from what the business owner should be doing. So if your marketing virtual assistant or anyone on your team at all can learn to use these tools as well, then they can really take something that you've done, a video that you've done or a podcast interview you were on, and repurpose it for content that absolutely sounds like you. It's fantastic, but you don't have to be involved at all. Between the virtual assistant and the AI, it really is like magic.
It is. And you've done the strategy up front. So everyone knows the target market. Everybody knows the messaging. You have all the prompting in place. You can step away from it and you do the initial piece of content, or even just the idea. I mean, it could be you're working with your assistant saying, I have an idea for a blog post, and you have a conversation for 15 minutes about the idea. It's recorded. They take that and they can actually create a blog post off of that. So you can even just have a 10 or 15 minute conversation about something you know a lot about, and then it can turn into a blog post very quickly just from that, with AI helping.
Perfect. This has been absolutely amazing. We love learning from you about LinkedIn and also about how you can use all of the AI tools with LinkedIn. Do you have a last point or tip before we jump over to Jeanne to talk about your offer today?
Yes, probably my biggest tip is always remember, because of time, mobile is your friend. One of the things I mentioned was, this algorithm trick where you can go on posts is published and interact and comment with other folks and engage. If you are on the run, if you don't have time, use the mobile app. The mobile app will help you where you don't feel constrained. I can't tell you how many times I may be waiting for a podcast to start that I'm getting interviewed on, and I have 10 minutes. Those 10 minutes, I can just get on my mobile app and do some work on LinkedIn and engage and comment. You can also use ChatGPT app. So you can even be on your phone and use AI on the phone to help create those comments that you might be struggling with, and to look at the content you're looking at and do it all from your phone. So mobile is your friend. So think about, don't let time be a constraint. Use those 10 or 15 minutes you may be waiting for something else on LinkedIn, and that will keep your engagement up.
Yeah, instead of just wasting time scrolling Facebook or TikTok, right? Be productive in those little 10-minute moments. It's amazing what you can accomplish.
It really is amazing. So I would recommend use mobile.
Lisa has a special free offer for all of us. It is the LinkedIn Less is More worksheet, where you can get visible on LinkedIn in just 40 minutes a week. And she's going to guide you through that. So you go to lessismoremethod.com. Go there, get your free worksheet. Get on LinkedIn, listen to this podcast again if you need to, be reminded of all her amazing tips, get on AI and make it all happen. Because, there's a very good chance, no matter what market you're in, that your clients are on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
Well, Lisa, it's been a pleasure to have you. We so appreciate you being here and coming back and keeping us all on top of what's happening on LinkedIn. So we will absolutely have you back again, because everything seems to change on social media over time. And so we love that we have you as our expert on LinkedIn. So thank you for being here, and thank you for the offer for everyone.
My pleasure.
Thanks for listening to the Six Figure Business Mastery Podcast. If you enjoyed listening to this episode and you are ready to leverage video marketing on all online platforms, or maybe even start your own video podcast, then you need to check out the Done For You and Done With You program at themarketingvaadvantage.com and take your business to the next level.